looks like a bug. But we should all just give him one big hug.
What more can we say about Spider-Man No Way Home that hasn't already been said? The best performing movie of 2021, and it captured the hearts of millions. We've done many videos of Easter eggs and references in No Way Home, but today we're going to break down and analyze the final battle and see what we can discover. If you still have avoided spoilers for this movie, you should get a prize. How could you possibly have done that? We are breaking down the finale of the movie, so spoilers ahead. Strap in, get a snack, and let's get ready to rock and roll for Easter eggs you missed in No Way Home's final battle.
Oh, Rosie, I love this boy.
Well, it's good to see you, dear boy.
We got a little fun one to start out. Way back in Spider-Man 2, the 2004 Tobey Spider-Man, we see Peter Parker trying to get his mojo back by running and jumping off a roof to make it to the other side. But he misses and slams hard into another car. We can then see Peter hunched over crying out for his back. He must have injured it pretty badly because fast forward to 2021's No Way Home, we can see Tobey stretching out his back and attempting to crack it with Andrew's Spidey helping. A good stretch is needed with an old injury. When Electro appears in the final battle, he is seen gathering electric energy which forms around him. When the bolts surround his face, it's in the same shape as his classic electric mask he dons in the comic books. With sharp electricity bolts wrapping around his face, it's a wonderful throwback to the classic Electro we all know and love.
Hey, look! Just a normal guy, right? Oh! No, it's okay, I'm a nice guy.
This was a neat little Easter egg that really tickled me. When the three Spider-Men are jumping off the scaffolding, each dive that the three Spider-Men do is unique to their respected characters. Tobey does his famous double front flip, Tom does his weird frog pose thing, and Andrew does his signature nosedive. It's super small, but very important to creating a convincing world for the multiverse. It's honestly something I didn't even consider when the three Spider-Men came together. In fact, I didn't even realize the three of them all had different flight and jump styles. Fantastic! Speaking of their unique jumps and dives, another action that's unique to their characters is the way they web sling. We can see as the three of them are flying around that Tobey does his under-the-leg launch thing, and then Tom turns around to web the other two, spinning around and flinging them. Very similar to when Captain America spun around and flung Spider-Man in Civil War. When they land, the three Spidey boys land in the same order their movies came out in, with Tobey first, Andrew second, and Tom last. In another little throwback to previous movies, we can see during the battle that Green Goblin stabs Tobey's Spider-Man from behind.
More on that later.
And when Andrew and Tom see if Tobey is okay, Tobey responds with, "I've been stabbed before," which is a reference to when Harry Osborn stabbed him in Spider-Man 2 in 2004.
I'm a nobody.
Hey, you're not a nobody. You're somebody.
Back to being a nobody.
You were never a nobody, man.
Yes, I was.
When Ned uses Doctor Strange's ring to open up the portals to the other Spider-Men, they close on their own because the purpose he was opening them for was met. But the last portal he opens doesn't close because deep down his intentions is to help with the final battle and he can't keep his mind off it in order to close the portal. Onward to another small detail, when Tom's Spider-Man explains to Tobey and Andrew that he was part of the Avengers, both Tobey and Andrew have no idea what the Avengers are and ask Tom if that's a famous band, which is a cool band name come to think about it. But this is a reference to when Bruce compared the Avengers to the Beatles when talking to Tony Stark in Infinity War. What a neat little detail! Continuing the short and sweet train, one of the most famous lines in the 2002 Spider-Man movie is when Green Goblin says, "Can Spider-Man come out to play?"
Can Spider-Man come out to play?
You probably already caught this, but when Green Goblin flies into the final battle, he yells that same line to the three Spider-Men.
No.
Can the Spider-Man come out to play?
If you missed this one, I don't know what to tell you. Open your ears, man! When Doctor Strange finally returns to the movie with the help from Ned and his ring, Strange says he's been dangling over the Grand Canyon for 12 hours. This is probably a reference and payback to when Strange allowed Loki to freefall for 30 minutes straight in Ragnarok. That's just cruel, but it actually sounds kind of fun. With the completely different universes, there's of course going to be differences between the three Peter Parkers. For example, how they got their web-slinging abilities. It's understood that Tobey's Peter is the only Spider-Man that can naturally sling webs from his body, which sounds awful and gross, but I'm sorry, it's true. And Andrew and Tom's web being artificially made. But on to another difference. At some point in the battle, we can see Tobey's Spider-Man holding his chest after a big hit, because Tobey's suit is not designed to be shockproof. Very small, very effective detail.
He also tells me you're lazy.
Trying to do better.
How are you?
Trying to do better.
When Tom's Spider-Man is fighting Green Goblin, Tom picks up the Goblin glider and attempts to stab him with it, which of course is a sendback to the 2002's finale fight when Goblin gets stabbed by the glider, mostly because of Tobey's Peter. Fortunately for Green Goblin, Tobey stops Tom from killing Goblin, which is wild because he didn't save him in the 2002 movie. I guess he didn't really kill him, he just jumped out of the way and the glider flew under him and stabbed the Green Goblin. Anyways, there's a lesson in there. Real heroes don't kill until Tobey gets stabbed from behind and then everyone gets mad, you know? This section of the scene is also a reference to when Captain America tries to stab Iron Man with his shield in Civil War. It's like damn near shot for shot. It also makes the reference even stronger when you realize that Spider-Man and Green Goblin are fighting on top of a gigantic Captain America shield. It's crazy. How did I not notice this? During the battle with the Lizard, Andrew webs him up with an attempt to restrain him, and it takes a while for the Lizard to break out of it. This is a wonderful throwback to the 2012 movie when the Lizard broke out of the webs from Andrew very easily. Andrew probably spent the years in between strengthening his artificial webbing for the next encounter with the Lizard.
She told me that with great power comes great responsibility.
This is a really hidden and small detail, but once you see it, it's just fantastic. When the Green Goblin has the magic box and Doctor Strange lassos it away from him, you can barely see when you zoom in that the Green Goblin is smiling. Him smiling makes a lot of sense considering he left a goblin grenade inside the box. How did he pull it out so fast? Did he plan on that all along? Like he just knew the box would be lassoed away from him? He said to himself, I'm gonna get that box and I'm gonna stick a grenade in there and then they're gonna take it away. I don't understand. Good lord, there's so many small details. And the explosion from the grenades leads us to our final entry. The explosion caused MJ to fall from the scaffolding and Andrew's Spider-Man jumped to save her, which he did. Spoiler. But the shot of MJ falling is basically a shot-for-shot reshoot of Gwen Stacy's tragic fall from the Statue of Liberty. Spoiler. In Andrew's The Amazing Spider-Man 2, when he tried to save Gwen Stacy from falling, he couldn't catch up to her, so he just webbed her from above, and when she stopped, he basically snapped her spine. It's so gross, good lord. This time, Andrew's Spider-Man focused on the jump instead of the web slinging and caught up to MJ instead. Andrew's reaction to saving her was very over the top, and some fans might not have known why. But the last time he jumped to save someone, in this case, Gwen Stacy, he was not successful, and this time he was. Wonderful for MJ, not so much for Gwen Stacy. RIP. And there you have it. The broken down and analyzed final battle of Spider-Man No Way Home. We hope this inspired you to rewatch the movie again and look for new and old Easter eggs and references to other movies and lore. It was a fun web-slinging ride of laughter, tears, and excitement, and we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Onward to the next Marvel movie, where you will see Easter eggs and references to this movie, and Easter eggs and references to this movie that referenced the previous movies while referencing this movie. You know what? Shut up. The Easter egg cycle continues to the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed all the Spider-Man content we've put out lately. We've had a blast breaking down and analyzing each of the scenes in Spider-Man No Way Home. Considering there's literally hundreds of Easter eggs and references, we're bound to miss some. We're only human, so if we missed one that you saw, let us know in the comments below. And as always, everybody, thanks for watching.